Hello, Collage Day School families. It's time for another weekly update. We sent out our newsletter this past weekend with all of the important dates from now until the end of 2020. Our goal is to help our families prepare and plan as we get ready to enter the busy season of the year. So please take note that we have the Scholastic Book Fair in October. We also have our Treats on the Trail in November. Our Treats on the Trail are replacing our annual trunk or treat due to the environmental conditions. However, we do need parent help still. So if you are interested in dressing as a friendly character and going out on our trail to wave to our students as they parade by, please email me and let me know. We will not be distributing candy this year like we've done in the past. Instead, Collage Day School will have a bag of treats available to students at the end of the Treats on the Trail parade to ensure the safety and well-being of our students and prevent that close contact as well. So again, we have the Scholastic Book Fair and we still need volunteers. Thank you to all of those who have volunteered. And we also need help for the Treats on the Trail as well. They both kick off in October. October 12th, as a reminder, is our Parent-Teacher Conference Day for our 3-year-olds, our 4-year-olds, and our elementary students. Our infants through age 2 have regular programming that day, but 3s, 4s, and elementary, it is an optional care day. So we do have childcare available for an added price, or you can leave your students at home because it's not an instructional day. However, we are releasing the opportunity to allow for you to come in and meet with our teachers individually as it's the end of the first quarter and you can see how your students did during the first quarter. Today, my guest is Miss Kristen Valletta. I am so excited to have Kristen here with us today as she is our newest pre-kindergarten age 4 teacher here at Collage Day School. What I love about Kristen is she not only brings the parent perspective and the teacher perspective to our environment, but is also a former elementary teacher. So she knows exactly what our students need to exit pre-K4 in order to be successful in the elementary program. So Kristen, do you want to tell our friends a little bit about your background?
So I taught kindergarten for 8 years previously in a different county, but in the public school system. So I do know, what's expected at the end of kindergarten, and I find that extremely important to be able to guide my lesson plans and guide my planning in the classroom to make sure, all these kiddos have the opportunities to be successful when they enter kindergarten next year, leaving pre-K here and then going into kindergarten. And I just find that important, making sure connecting those dots in between each grade, and so that's my...
And helping them flourish here.
Yes.
So Kristen is a parent of one of our infants here, and she's also a parent of one of our pre-kindergarten 4 students. So from a parent perspective, what's one aspect that you've already enjoyed about Collage Day School?
There's a lot of different aspects. I love both my kiddos being here. I love the outdoorsy part of it, that they're getting that great important part of play, outdoors and indoors, and they're also, both getting so much academic, even the baby, and the communication with the parents. I'm constantly getting pictures of both my kiddos being sent home, and just if there's anything going on, the teachers are messaging me on the ProCare app, and it's just, it's comforting to know that.
For sure. And then from a teacher perspective, so you mentioned that you've taught for several years in the public school system. So what's one aspect that you feel like where Collage Day School is different than your previous experiences?
I just feel that, the atmosphere here is just so close-knit. I feel like, the teachers are working together, they're, helping build off everybody else's ideas and do what's best for every single child. Every single kid is different, and we're working to make sure that, we're meeting all of their needs.
One of Kristen's strengths that I love is she's also gifted endorsed, which is a highly coveted endorsement in the state of Florida, but really for any teacher. And that really allows for you to go in depth with differentiation and learn more about how students learn and be able to tailor lessons so that it's not the same lesson every day, it's not taught the same way. You can do multiple means of assessment in order to gauge their progression. So with differentiation, how do you group students and what does that mean to you?
So we do literacy centers where there's a mix of students in every group, but then we pull them and we make sure that they're, I might be pulling some group of students working on their letters, maybe working on their letter sounds. I have a small reading group where we're doing activities and reading little small books with sight words and words that they can sound out. And so, just because they're all on different levels and they need different things. And for assessments, there's different ways that they can show us what they know and covering those standards and making sure that they're getting what they need.
This week I had the opportunity of being in Kristen's room to observe our students in action, and a part of the lesson that I really enjoyed was they were learning how to sort objects by size and color and different textures, and opposed to sorting traditional manipulatives. Kristen was aware that her student had an interest in dinosaurs, so she grabbed a whole bunch of dinosaurs and they were able to sort those dinosaurs based on different attributes. Do you want to talk more about that?
And we had the students, some of them were, these are omnivores, these are herbivores, these are the meat eaters. They were coming up with a lot. These have spikes on them and horns, these ones have flat heads. They were coming up with a lot of different ways to sort versus just here's red, green, blue. They're able to open their minds up a little bit more and be able to expand on the sorting basis than just the typical, just sort them into the typical colors, or they're able to, especially with the textures, they really enjoyed that with the feathers and the cotton balls and getting to expand that a little bit.
And then they're also able to work on their vocabulary skills. So we heard the word textures being used during the lesson. And then in addition, they were able to sort them, and then to get those higher order thinking skills in there, they were continuously being asked, what other ways can you sort these? And they were able to work in a collaborative lesson to really work on those higher order thinking skills. So it was really neat to see that interaction with them. But again, being able to take their interest, which is a big philosophy here at Collage Day School, we use that progressive education framework where we're taking their interest, but being able to teach the typical VPK or other state objectives through their interest as well. So it ended up being a wonderful lesson. It was hard to believe that they were able to go so in depth with the information by just really engaging in their interest and expanding on it with their students, working collaboratively as well. So what would you say are your goals for your students this year?
I really just want them to flourish academically, emotionally, socially. That independence piece, I know that was a huge thing when they came into kindergarten. Being able to do things independently, whether it's even, they're toileting independently for the most part, but just being able to open their snacks, know that they go from this center, like in our center board, they go from when they're finished with their work, they can go to the next center and they don't have to ask me. There's certain rules or there's certain routines that happen in the classroom that they learn throughout the year. And it's important for that independence piece to be on it, where I don't have to tell them, okay, now go put this in your folder. They know when they're done with their work and they get it checked off, then they can go put it in their folder. And I don't have to go put it in their folder. To get them, that really is important when they enter kindergarten.
Which makes them, makes them even stronger in kindergarten, as they learn all those different literacy centers and math centers and writers workshop formats, and being able to independently maneuver around the classroom to complete all of their assignments. Well, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we thank you all for joining us for our weekly update, and we look forward to seeing you next week as we add another presenter with me. Thank you.